As we've used SmartTagIt, we've seen much better engagement from our workers. We've seen much better engagement from the leaders of that work crew. The language barrier has been diminished greatly, if not eliminated completely.
Antes del video estábamos acostumbrados a llegar a veces de las 6 de la mañana y empezarlo a llenar 6:30, y cuando llegaban los muchachos a las 7 de la mañana alrededor de unos 30 a 25 minutos perdíamos, y ahorita es más rápido, es en 5 minutos lo que dura el video. Para mí es mejor, pienso.
The old way we used to do it was a form with the PTP on Procore. They sat down, typically the superintendent would fill it out and he would give it to somebody and they would sign it and they would go to work. There's really no group influence of going over anything.
Todos estamos en ese rato, en esos minutos que tenemos para explicar. Entonces el video es mejor porque todos están entendiendo lo que estás hablando. Cada uno tiene su opinión, pero cada área que estamos trabajando es diferente, pero estamos enfocados en la misma tarea, en los peligros que hay de cada uno.
I saw that the process was actually broken, that a lot of people were just pencil whipping it. It was just a form, they were lining and signing it. So I was quite skeptical that I wasn't sure what the role of technology was going to be. Just making another form to digitally collect a broken paper process wasn't attractive based on what I'd learned in the past. About that time, and it's just pure coincidence, it became a lot easier to capture video. You know, the iPhone was out and you could capture a video on a phone, and I said, you know, maybe instead of having someone sign one of these forms to tell you that they were engaged, maybe you just ask them a question and they'll tell you whether or not they were engaged in the conversation. So we put that onto the application, and we discovered, quite again by accident, when someone started using the product, they didn't answer the question that they were engaged. They actually started recording their conversations. They started recording what they were actually doing. And we realized we'd stumbled into something we'd been looking for the last 20 years. And that was really listening to people do work.
I think one of the great things is having genuine, authentic conversations. True care and concern for people, for your environment, and really taking into account what everybody has to say, their input, their buy-in, and their feedback. When you collectively, as a team, come together, your performance is substantially better.
Creo que ahora todos entienden ese proceso mejor. Al menos aquí con los compañeros que tengo, todos ya estamos un poco más familiarizados con esto. ¿Por qué? Porque siempre nos juntamos para hacerlo. Y todos tenemos que estar poniendo atención de lo que estamos diciendo. Todos tenemos que estar en el mismo canal. Todos en la misma frecuencia. Porque si no, entonces no estamos poniendo atención. Y ahí sí estás mirando tú como encargado. Estás mirando quién es el que te pone atención y quién es el que no te pone atención. Entonces esas personas que no ponen atención son las que están más propensas a dañarse ellos o dañar a una tercera persona. Porque no pusieron atención de lo que están haciendo.
I mean, we're all scrambling on the PTP, or, you know, when we have an incident, the first question always is, was it on the PTP? Now we can see whether it was actually communicated or not, and, you know, whether it's discussed or not, or it might have some points that directly relate to it.
Maybe they speak a different language, and the people who are listening to these conversations, you know, speak English. Well, imagine a world where suddenly these machines are transcribing and translating this from Spanish into English, and 30% more of the workforce that, number one, may or may not have been having a conversation, and certainly they couldn't be heard by the people who don't speak Spanish, can suddenly be heard.
Most of the guys speak only Spanish, so to pick each task they're doing and understand it, it's a game changer compared to the paper form where they're writing in Spanish. You know, sometimes I have to go through Google Translate and copy and paste back and forth just to get a grasp on it, and it was typically incorrect in what they were doing.
We've also noticed that we are meeting or exceeding our schedules and our quality parameters. We're excelling in those areas.
Traditionally, maybe 20 years ago, I would have organized them around hazards. And many people think that's what we want to do. But if you look one layer deeper, you'll realize, let's organize them around culture. Let's organize them around these softer things that have been more difficult to measure, like the language of trust, the language of care, how people set expectations.
And we're also seeing that we're learning about people's culture, not just their culture from their respective companies, but their heritage, their culture from where they come from, and people are really connecting one with another.
One of the things that's been a stark contrast from Flintco to perhaps others who are going on this journey with us is how quickly senior leadership genuinely engaged to say, this is not an opportunity to fix a broken safety system. This is our opportunity to make sure that our people genuinely understand our ethos, why we have it, and how it impacts them. And that is going to give you a competitive advantage in the workplace.